Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, Yoga with Alicia. I'm Alicia and I'm going to be taking you through some yoga movements that are going to help increase your flexibility, improve your strength and give you an overall boost to your general sense of well-being. Today we're going to do a short video here which looks at the transition between a forward fold and a plough pose. Now there are variations as well and I'll direct you through them, but this is a transitional motion as well and it's otherwise known as the rock and roll. It's going to massage your spinal cord and release endorphins into your system to give you a feel-good feeling, and it's going to improve and increase muscular tone, especially to the abdominals, because you need some abdominal strength for this. If you want to watch through the video first, that would be really good because you'll be able to view, listen and take in the instructions before attempting it yourself. This position might not be for everyone, and if at any point you feel it's not for you, then take a rest. Re-look through the motion that you are attempting and see if you can take it bit by bit. You don't need to achieve the whole thing in one session. Keep coming back. Look at the video over and over, and before you know it, you will be able to rock and roll. So with that said, let's get on the mat. So there are two parts mainly, specifically to this transitional flow. First one, there is the forward fold, which we're going to look into further deeper in a moment. The second one will be the plough pose, when you flip back and the legs and the feet go over the head and touch the ground. But we'll look at that individually as well. Let me first show you the fullness of this transitional movement. So it's going to be as easy as that, rocking and rolling back and forth. But let's take each position individually, if you like. The forward fold. The aim of this position is to lengthen through your torso and your spinal cord. So you want to get some lift from deep down in the coccygeal region here and allow it to rise and elevate up to the crown of your head so that you can bring some reach and length into the fold. You also want to look at lifting around the tummy area. Scoop up internally. Pull your pubis up towards your navel. Think of lifting up and out of your hip joints so that you're able to fold, and you'll be reaching and extending your arms. Now you've got a lot of space to create through the arms, from shoulders to elbows to wrists to fingertips. You can utilize all the muscle, all the connective tissues, the bones. It's all about creating space and reaching as you fold. So there's many aspects to that, and there's a lot to think about and concentrate on, but fundamentally be in tune with your breath, knowing that every time you breathe in there'll be this spaciousness being created, there'll be a lifting sensation. And then as you exhale, that's the surrender, that's the release, that's the letting go into the move. And it's about allowing that sense of surrender to become enlarged. So you're continually looking at the letting go. When you begin yoga, indeed if you are a beginner watching this video, don't worry if you cannot reach this far forward, if you cannot extend all the way. You have to start somewhere. Maybe have your hands on your upper thighs and just work on keep developing this lift and encouraging the creation of space to be made within your torso. You have 33 bones in your spinal cord, and right from the flat fused coccyx and sacrum, you will then enter into the dorsal lumbar and the thoracic and the cervical, which are all individual vertebrae, and they can all lift up and away from each other, ensuring there's space in between for the intervertebral discs. And it's this movement that you make that helps release anything that's been obstructed or squeezed or crushed down on. And that's why it gives you a really nice sense of well-being and improves your spinal health. The forward fold. Remembering it's okay if your hands are up here and if they then make their way along your legs. So the plough position, this is a bit more of an advanced pose, but beginners can start to practice it. Indeed, it's highly useful, especially for the females and the balancing of hormones. Because in plough position, we're actually pressing on our hypothalamus, which is here down in the nape of the neck, and this is where fine tuning takes place, especially for females. It also helps with insomnia, and it helps with digestion. So the first part of this position could indeed be just to lay on your back and raise the legs. You might find that you need to have a bend in those knees to begin with. Allow that to happen. Over time, as the muscles in the backs of your legs begin to stretch, you'll begin to straighten the legs. Once you get used to this position here, you can bring the arms alongside you, press the palms of the hands down into the mat, and gently just begin to lift the buttocks and the base of the spine away from the mat. And do so as if you're trying to put the soles of your feet to press onto the ceiling. Now you're going to feel the stomach muscles, deep tummy muscles begin to contract. That's good, that means they're waking up, they're starting to engage, and they're going to assist in the movement. Then you can begin to bring the hands into play. They can hold around the buttocks, gently encouraging the thighs to come towards the trunk of the chest, the shins to edge over towards the forehead. Now, if at any time you get any ringing in the ears, that means that there's a blockage that's happening within the circulatory system, and that you need to just ease off and go back to practicing this part of the position, having some bend in the knees if you like. It's all about allowing that surrender to release the blockage, to allow the blood to flow freely, that will assist you in getting further suppleness, to enable you to flick right over. And you can use those hands to gently support the spine as the feet come over. Again, acknowledging that you will not possibly achieve it in one session. It's something to practice. Yoga requires a constant discipline because it's a maintenance of the self. You're taking time for you, and you're doing these exercises, these movements and these shapes to increase your health. So let's look at how we will move into the rock and roll once you become more comfortable with the forward fold and the plough. Also with the plough, bear in mind not to do it if you're heading towards your menses. We don't want to take the flow of blood in the wrong direction or have any discomfort with that. So because of the transition between the forward fold and the backward plough needs some roundness of the spine, we want to ensure that we give that. So we do round our shoulders and we tilt our pelvis, and we have the thought that perhaps we've got a round ball between our thighs and our stomach and chest. So we're nice and rounded, and just come onto your tiptoes. You could bring the hands just to rest in the back of the hamstrings, and you're going to keep yourself rounded with chin tucked down into chest, because that keeps the nice arc of the upper neck and the spine. And then you roll back. And you roll forward. You will begin to pick up a momentum. As long as you keep your chin down in your chest and your spine curved, you're making it a bit like the wheel. And a wheel goes round, it rolls and rolls. So you'll find you'll be able to achieve this. If you tend to have a flat back and you drop back like that, you're going to find it difficult to come back up. So keep yourself nice and rounded, get the momentum going, and you can begin to use the shins and the calf muscles and the toes to assist you in the rolling. If you find that you're coming up and then you're slamming down your feet, you want to avoid that. If you really start working deep abdominal muscles, you'll be able to hold those toes and those feet just above the mat. So once you get used to rolling small with a round shape, you can then bring in the activity of extending the legs further over the head, stretching through to the feet, maybe bringing those toes to really connect with the floor and taking the heels further to the wall behind you. And then you bring yourself back into that nice little rounded position. And then as you come up, you can extend the legs forward and fold forwards. And then you'll travel back in the opposite direction. And you can even take the hands over the head toward the toes. And then when you come back, you'll curl into that little ball to then extend and straighten. You could keep your hands placed down on the mat, palms down, to give you some support. Remember, at any point you can keep some bend in those knees. But it will take time. Remember to practice each individually. You've got your forward fold. You can practice with just laying on your back and having the feet up. And then gently beginning to lift the buttocks away from the floor. Use the hands to assist. Do ensure that when you are going into the backward plough, that you do not move your head from side to side. You keep your chin towards your chest. If you move your head from side to side, it may do an injury into the neck. The only reason I've been able to turn my head to the side is because I've been practicing for 30 years. So I'm quite limber within the upper neck vertebrae. But when you do it, you want to keep chin to chest. And once the legs go over as well, you could take a swallow through the mouth. Helps to open the airways. And once you're in the fullness of the position, you could think of the Hamstrings lifting up toward the ceiling. Coming out of the position, you're able to support yourself at any point you wish. And then you can extend. And remembering that you could be up here to begin with, and slowly you'll progress. It's only with a dedicated practice that you will improve. The rock and the roll. It's very simplistic, but it has a lot of benefits. Do watch through the videos first. You can observe and listen to any of the pointers that I make, and that will allow you to be better informed before you attempt. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please do subscribe, leave any comments, ask any questions, and if I can help you further with your yoga journey, I certainly will. Namaste.